Cal Banyan here, Cal Banyan's Hypnosis, etc. with Erika Flint. And we're at Erika Flint's Cascade Hypnosis to do some podcasts because I'm up here doing some teaching a course on the advanced 7-path self-hypnosis recognitions. And I'm going to have a coffee with Cal with some of the local hypnotists, the 5-pathers. Huge group. I mean, like 20-something people are going to be here, and they're just going to be firing questions at me. I'm hoping to get some recording of that, and I'll give you guys the very best. Let me tell you about Erika. Erika is awesome. She's gone from, like 5 years in the profession, from a totally different IT-oriented profession into being a mover and shaker. She spoke at the National Guild of Hypnotists Convention. She's spoken at Solid Gold Weekend. She's now writing for the Journal of Hypnotism. She also writes for the 5-Path International Journal of 5-Path Hypnotist Journal. And she's done a whole bunch of podcasts with me. How you doing, Erika?
I'm doing great, Cal, and it's so fun to have you here and have you here next to me. Usually we're doing it separate, so this is a lot of fun.
Cool.
We've got some cool topics, and so I want to get started by telling everybody about you. Cal Banyan is the authority on hypnosis that works. He has been in the profession for over 20 years, and he's received almost every single award from the National Guild of Hypnotists, which is the oldest and largest hypnosis professional organization in the world. He's an author of some great books on hypnosis. He's a speaker, he's a trainer, and he's trained some of the very best in the profession. He had a huge impact on my career and my life. I took a different training before, different hypnosis training before. It wasn't quite enough. Once I learned 5-Path, that's when I started seeing clients. That's when I started moving into doing hypnosis full time. And so I just have a lot of gratitude and respect for Cal Banyan. And so thank you, Cal, for just everything that you do.
So honored to be a part of it, to watch everybody growing and becoming professional hypnotists.
Yep.
I think 5-Pathers are the best trained, best supported, and most likely succeed hypnotists in the world.
Yep, and we have lots of professional hypnotists out there to prove that, helping more people.
Awesome. So now Erika has some topics she's going to throw at me, and I'm so excited. So I came here with zero preparation because if I don't know something, I go, gosh, I don't know. So let's continue.
All right, so today's topic is called Scripless Hypnosis. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is I see a lot of people online talking about, hey, do you have a script for this? Or do you have a script for this? Other hypnotists asking that question. And the reality is you don't actually need a script in order to do excellent hypnosis with clients. And so Cal and I today, we're going to talk about how do you do scriptless hypnosis? Like, is it possible? What do you think about that topic?
I think that the problem is there's an infinite number of variety of issues out there, right? And there's more than just stop smoking, lose weight, fear of heights, and a few other things that we're so famous for. And you want, see, 5-Pathers, we have a system that generalizes to just about any kind of issue that could come into your office, and so you can't possibly have a script for everything. Now, I do have the universal script, which is like if you fall back, you got nothing else to do, you can use the universal script. I also have my confidence pattern script, which can be used for just about every kind of issue. If they had more confidence, they would do better, right? So I have that, but earlier, years ago, I wrote some articles and I did some videos here on calbanyan.com on writing hypnosis scripts on the fly, right? I must have some Chinese food today. Anyway, go ahead. So let me have it.
Right, so I think really, what I was seeing online in some of these other hypnosis groups is just a lot of fear from these hypnotists. And like, oh my gosh, I have this new client and what am I supposed to do? Does anybody have a script for this? Does anybody have a script for that? And, I just really want other hypnotists and those of you thinking about coming into the profession that the insight-based work, hypnosis that we do as 5-Pathers with really powerful insight work like age regression, forgiveness therapies, and parts mediation therapy, you don't need a script for that. There is a process and an outline. And so let's just start there, Cal. Let's help them understand, the distinction here between just kind of like reading a hypnosis script to somebody and the insight-based work that we do as 5-Pathers.
Well, it's so funny because in class, right, in the first day or two, we're just getting them to be able to hypnotize people. So of course there's a script because you got to learn a hypnosis induction, right? And so for the first day, they're learning to get that down, and they're reading it, not sounding like they're reading. They're having success. People are getting hypnotized on the left and hypnotized on the left. And how do they know they're hypnotized? Because they do eye lock or eyelid catalepsy tests, arm catalepsy tests, these kind of covert tests for somnambulism and stuff. And they start get all this confidence because they're reading the scripts and they're getting very good at it. And they go, okay, now we're going to do age regression. And they go, well, where's the script? There's no script for age regression. There's begin with the end in mind. You've got some goalposts you want to get to, and then you're just going to have to communicate how to get to these different goalposts, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so there is a structure to it and a process, but the nice thing about the fact that it's not a script is that you get to be interactive with your clients. And this is one thing that I love about the insight-based work. A lot of people think that hypnosis is, I'm going to lie there and the hypnotist is just going to read a script to me. Well, that's not what we do as 5-path hypnotists. It's interactive. So we're going to be getting information from our clients, and based on the information that they give us, that's when we're going to know what to do. And this is why we get such great results from them, because we're not just reading. It's not a one-way communication, right? It's a two-way communication. How do you really know what's going on with your client if you're just reading them a script?
Okay. So let me talk a little bit about age regression, for example, right? So with age regression, we've got this thing. What we're going to do is, in most cases, there's an emotion associated with the problem. Like they're eating too much or drinking too much because they have this feeling inside them they don't like. Or it might be just a straight out fear, like a fear of speaking in public. And we're going to bring up that feeling, and then we're going to create the psychological construct of a time tunnel and have them use that tunnel to go back to the most important days of their life where that happened, all the way back to the first day. And what we do is we just talk them through it. There's a general kind of a thing that you say. For example, I'm going to run through it real quick. This is obviously not a video on how to do time tunnel. But my clients in somnambulism, they can hallucinate. And I'll say there's a feeling inside you get when you think about speaking in front of groups. And I can tell you're starting to think about it or feel about it already because you're breathing faster, your face is turning red. And so you can talk when you're in hypnosis. Tell me, where is that feeling in your body? If it had a shape, what would it be? If it had a color, what would it be? And let's say it's a red ball. I'd say, now that red ball becomes a tunnel that goes right inside of you to every time you ever felt that way. Now there's a gazillion ways to say that. And the way I used to say it 3 years ago is different from how I say it now. Because I'll have handouts. Well, this is how you do time tunnel technique. And then they watch me on a video or something. Well, that's not what you did. Well, it's the concept, right? It's not the exact words. But in the beginning, when you're first learning it, it's helpful to have the words. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to guide them verbally from one event to the other until we get to the initial sensitizing event. And basically, now I have my client who's in the regress state and the client who's observing in the adult state, and I can have them dialogue back and forth because of this wonderful concept. Boy, it'd be nice if I knew then what I know now, right? So I can have grown up tell the little one what he or she wished they would have known so they wouldn't have been so afraid, for example. We can take them through. So we just coach them through it. Okay. Now, I don't want to get too much into age regression, but all of these real powerful techniques are like that. Age regression, or forgiveness of others, or forgiveness of self, or parts mediation work. It's that. You're going to have these goals, you have some idea of what you're going to say, and you might say it differently to some clients depending on age, or some people are really, really smart, and some people are not the sharpest knife in the drawer. You got to be simpler. Or some people not even smart. It's like some people are very vocal and have a big vocabulary, and some people are very smart but have a smaller vocabulary. So you're going to speak differently to different people. You keep that in mind. Now, what I want to get to, though, is you folks are thinking in terms of how do I give them hypnotic suggestions, right? And that's where we get into things like the Segue and doing and writing hypnotic suggestions on the fly. Do you want to take it from me?
Yes, and that's a very good segue to what I'm going to talk about next, because
no pun intended.
Right? Maybe, I don't know. We need to get really good clarity. So this is the second thing. First of all, we do the insight-based work with our clients. Second, we need really good clarity on what they're coming in for. So part of the work that we're going to do with our clients is when we're talking with them, now we have what's called the benefits form, and the client is going to tell us what they want, by doing hypnosis with us. Basically, kind of what does success look like, and are we working on the right problem? Now, when we do a really good job with our clients clarifying that, because I can tell you, at least for a lot of my clients, Cal, they don't always do the greatest job filling out the benefits form, right? And so part of the work that we're going to do is really, the very first session with clients is we review that benefits form and just make sure that it's really clear, that there are measurable results, and we get to say, yeah, we're working on the right things, and this is what success looks like. So we get to use that information when we're creating hypnotic suggestions for them.
Now I want to take something to the next level.
Okay.
Now, so, like for example, someone says, I want to come in because I want to improve my ability to not be so afraid at public speaking, right? And so I say, well, what are the benefits of that? Okay. Oh, well, and they'll say all the wrong stuff. They'll say, oh, well, then I won't be afraid when I'm public speaking, and then I'll be willing to public speak, and then I won't sweat so much in front. Those are not the benefits. That's kind of like what we have to overcome so that they can receive the benefits. And so I will say to them, okay, good, awesome, because we don't criticize our clients. I say, now let's take that another level. Let's say there's a little red button here on my desk, and you pushed it, and your fear of speaking in public was like, gone like that. Now you can talk to any number of people anytime just fine, natural, like you're talking to your best friend, right? How would that change your life? How would that change your life in your profession? Oh, well, I'd be able to accept that promotion that I've been putting off because I was afraid I have to give a report. Oh, and how would that change your life? Well, I would feel awesome. Well, in what way would that change your life at work? I says, well, I'd be able to be more effective at work, and my self-esteem would go up. And well, how would that happen financially? What would happen to you? Well, I'd have more money. What would you do with more money? Well, I would be able to take that vacation I always wanted to go to. Where would that be? And who would go with you? And what I'm working for here is causing them to change state. Okay, that I want them to get out of, well, yes, I want to not be able to sweat so much when I talk to people in public, and I don't want to avoid that anymore, which is here, and I want to get into here, right? To where they're going, yeah, and then, I'd love to go on vacation and take my wife with me, and I'd take my mother-in-law just to show her that I could, and this feeling that's coming up right inside, and I'm writing this stuff down because the great prophet once said, Mary Poppins, it was around 1964, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, right?
Right.
Subconscious mind does not want to change. Those benefits are so important, but not just these benefits, because the subconscious mind is always moving away from displeasure and boredom towards pleasure and positive excitement, right? And so I want to find that positive excitement, use those words in their benefit form, and I'm going to use that when I start giving them suggestions, when I do what we will call direct suggestion work.
Right, exactly, because most of our clients are going to come to us because of a pain. Most of them, not always. Sometimes we get clients who are doing awesome and they want more motivation, or they want to do even more like high performance type of a thing. But a lot of our clients are coming to us because they're in some level of pain, and so the only thing they can see, it's almost like they're kind of treading water. They're almost drowning in their own life, and all they can see is, I just don't want to, feel so scared anymore, and I just don't want to mess up again, and I don't want to be so embarrassed or ashamed when my colleagues look at me with that weird look on their face.
They have their list of don't wants.
They have their list of don't wants,
and
right.
we want a list of what you do wants.
Right, because that is empowering, and that's what's going to lift them up. So when we rewrite or rework that benefits form, now we have a really good list where we can create suggestions for them on the fly with something, which is the third thing that I want to talk about today. The third thing is making sure that we are connecting the dots between the insight work and their suggestions with the segue, right? So with the segue, I've changed because now I know, I've changed because now I feel. That's the insight-based work. We're going to get the really good wisdom and insight from our clients. And because of that, now it's easy for you to accept these suggestions more powerfully and permanently than ever before. Now we get to give them those suggestions from the benefits form.
Let me say a little something about that, right? How it came about. And as I was learning about age regression work, which was the first kind of insight work I took seriously in the world of hypnosis, was that you would just regress people to the cause. They'd have a catharsis, they'd cry or whatever, and they get well. and you hope they had some kind of insight that changes how they think, because it's what you're thinking that governs what you're feeling, right?
Yeah.
And I found out that wasn't happening sometimes. I'd work with someone, they'd come in, and then like they'd come in for fear of heights, and we find out it's really because their father was too critical and they never felt safe and secure in themselves, and then get angry at me for digging up this stuff with their dad, right? So what I figured out is I needed to find out exactly what those insights are and connect it to why they're in right away. So I developed this thing. I want them to write out loud say, I've changed because now I feel. So I say, put an ending on this. I've changed because, I've changed because now I know. I've changed because now I know. And this is the insight that happened in the age regression or the forgiveness work or the parts mediation work. Doesn't matter, any insight work. And I changed because now I know there was nothing wrong with me. It was my dad's fault, or he was too critical. Okay, fine. So that makes me feel. Well, that makes me feel like, gosh, like none of that really matters anymore. I go, and how does that make you feel? Makes me feel stronger. Good. More in control or less? More in control. So now I know that my client has had an insight about his father and himself, that there's really nothing wrong with him. It was his father's issue, and that makes him feel stronger, right? And I say, so then I said, put an ending on this. So now I can, okay? And they go, so now I can, and they start talking about the things they can do now that they're rid of that problem. So, and it doesn't, any insight work. In fact, I will even use that with my confidence pattern. As they hear that, at the end of it, what we're going to do in either case, any place where insight has happened, we're going to do the segue. And the segue is where we feed back to them what they told us they now know and they now feel and that they can now do, right? So I say, okay, now that, and they've already told me, I've changed because now I know it was my dad, it wasn't me. I've changed because now I feel stronger, and so now I can have more confidence in every situation. Awesome. So now we get to the end of the work, and I say, now that you know that it was your dad's issues, not you, that there's nothing wrong with you, you feel more confident in everything you do. And so now you can, boom, what they came in for. You can have confidence speaking in front of groups of any size, okay? And then benefit, and then suggestion of what they came in for, benefit, suggestion what you came in for. An example of that would be, I want to tell you something. This is advanced. This stuff I'm giving you came out of the development of 5-Path. This is in no books anywhere. They're in some articles I've written for the National Hypnotist. There's some information about this on some of the 5-Path, like 5path.com website. But this is unique stuff, very powerful stuff that I've learned in the trenches, and that has been repeated, these techniques, by hundreds of 5-Pathers all around the world. So you've changed because now you know it was your dad that had the problem. You're fine. And so you feel confident, more in control, more powerful. And as a result, now, and notice this is in present tense, not future tense, now you can speak comfortably in front of groups in any situation. And as a result, now you can accept that promotion. Now you can make more money. Now you can go on that vacation and take your mother-in-law with you just to show her that you can do it. You see? And when I'm talking using those kind of words that my client used when they were in that shift, that positive shift, all that good positive energy is getting rubbed off on those suggestions, and the subconscious mind says, yes, give me that, and it takes it right in.
Yeah, because they said it to you, right?
That's right.
So the subconscious mind is super receptive to that language and those words. And this is why when you are doing this work and your client shares with you the insight, or they're sharing with you and you're reviewing the benefits from, write down their language. You know, feeling peaceful is not the same.
Let them write the script for you.
Yes, exactly. Let them write the script for you. We want to use their precise language. So if they say they want to be more peaceful, it's not the same as feeling tranquil or calm. And so we specifically want to write down what they tell us. And those suggestions just sink in so deeply because they already said it.
Awesome.
Right?
Good,
and
good.
you probably have had clients before that say to you, oh my gosh, Cal, how did you know to say that? Or how did you come up with that? And it's like, well, you know, you said it yourself.
That's right. Yes. Those words sound kind of familiar, don't they?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Gosh, it's like I sucked it right out of your brain.
Right.
Because I did.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
And the other thing that I like about this is we can get what I call conscious buy-in, because what we're really doing is we're taking information from the subconscious and we're making it conscious. And our clients feel awesome in session, but we also want them to leave with the conscious mind knowing all of the good changes. And so that insight-based work, just to kind of continue with the suggestions and without using a script, we're going to ask them, even when they emerge from hypnosis, one more time, put an ending on the sentence like, change because now I know. And so now we're also looping in the conscious mind to make sure that these changes are sticking with
And that
our
they
lives.
own it post-hypnotically. After they've emerged, do the same thing again. Quickly, right after me, I've changed because now I know. And they put an ending, I've changed because now I feel, and so now I can't. And that way they own that change post-hypnotically. And another thing I'd say about is, building trust and confidence in your clients is huge. And when you can be that on topic with them and not just reading some general script, right? I mean, talking to their heart and their feelings and what they're really thinking, then it's like, wow, this hypnotist really gets me.
Right.
You're probably getting them better than their mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, lover right then.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
And that's a really good point, because you can't do this work if you're not really have a heart connection with that client and paying attention. So if you're worried about something else, if you had a bad day, if whatever's going on, you've got to do your own work, because this level of hypnosis requires some really deep work and really paying attention to what's going on with your client. You're not just sitting there reading something.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep. And you get this confidence by just doing it. Now, here is a little halfway step for you. What you can do is, if they're in for something that you do have a script for, and you do like that script, go ahead and use that script, and then in between paragraphs, start doing what we're talking about. And so it's blah, 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 whatever the script says. And you go, and as you accept these suggestions, you feel more powerful, whatever it was they said, right? And as a result, now you feel more comfortable talking in front of groups. Now, and just feed back those exact words, those feeling statements in between the paragraphs of the script that you use, and they'll come out thinking, wow, it's like you customized that just for me.
Yep.
Because I did.
Awesome. So it's a hybrid.
you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of a halfway step.
Yep. Awesome. Well, the couple things that we talked about, really, the insight-based techniques, so you don't need a script for the insight-based techniques, and then with getting really good clarity on the benefits form, and then basically repeating back your client's suggestions to themselves, so having your client write the suggestions for you, and then just continuing to repeat it and getting that conscious buy-in after they emerge. So that's it, Cal.
Awesome. I feel like we did it.
I
Good
think
job.
we did.
Giving yes. It's our first video like this. Hey, leave us a comment if you like this format. Not that we could ever do it again.
Right.
But we might do it at the convention or something like that if this is working out good for you. Otherwise, we will be back at our normal way of doing our videos. All right. Check out our websites. Mine is calbanyan.com. I was going to mix it up with hypnosiscenter.com. At calbanyan.com. That's where we have all these videos, over 500 videos you guys can watch. Each one's full of a nugget. Check out my class schedule there on calbanyan.com, and check out Erika's website.
CascadeHypnosisTraining.com. I would love to see you in class.
She teaches the same course I teach. We have the 10-day course, which is a certification course that people take to come into the profession, and many, many people already in the profession take that course in order to move up in the profession and get certified 5-path and 7-path. And then for those in a hurry, if you're already certified, I teach a week of power, which is a 7-day condensed version of the 10-day course. All right, that's it. Anything else to say?
Love you all. Thanks for watching.
Cal Banyan,